This one is based on the video game with the same name, and I know there's a ton of people that are anticipating this one, both in the board game community as well as fans of the video game. So this one has quite a following, and it looks like a solid game as well, because this one is a competitive deck building game where players are each going to be controlling their own beheaded heroes. And I'm not sure how exactly all of you lost your heads, but let's just say that permadeath is optional in this world. And players will be using their heroes along with their decks of cards in order to explore the ever-changing island as well as the many dungeons that it has to offer. On a player's turn, they're going to be deciding where they want to go on the island. Do they want to search for new gear or weapons, or go attack one of the many monsters, or try to explore a new region entirely? Each region is going to be offering its own biome and environment, with the different enemies and gear that you find there being related to it. Players are going to be discovering more of these within a single game, but then discovering even more and more from game to game. But players don't only have their deck of cards in their arsenal, because each character is also going to be coming with its own special abilities as well. And this game plays in a sort of loop where players will be exploring the island and discovering those biomes, collecting different items and discovering different enemies, fighting those enemies, sometimes killing them, or sometimes being killed, because, like I said, death is kind of optional in this game. But the nice thing about not dying is that when you do kill one of the enemies, you're going to be collecting the dead cells from their corpse, and then you're going to be hanging on to those, collecting more and more as you defeat more enemies. And then when you take on a little too much and it's your turn to kick the bucket, you'll be able to spend those cells to upgrade your character and be reincarnated in a mutated, more powerful form. And the way that this works is that you'll be able to spend those dead cells to buy new cards to add into your deck. And there's 3 different types of cards that you can choose from. There are the brutality cards, which are going to help you with your offense. There are the survival cards, which will help you with your survivability and defense. And then there are the tactics cards, which will give you all sorts of different abilities in order to help you along the way. And of course, the whole reason that you're doing all of this is to try and defeat the final boss and eventually escape the island. And when players are able to do this, it's going to trigger the end of the game. And players will be rewarded for this as well, because when players do defeat that final boss, they're also going to be gaining some new starter biomes that you'll be able to start off your following game sessions with. This is a really nice bonus because it gives you a little extra something for winning a game, but then gives you a lot more variability to try out in any of your following games. And of course, if you're interested in this one, there'll be a lot more info once it launches, and you can find a link to the campaign in the description below.